Well, here we go. It is that time of the year again for Kamen Rider fans, Trademark season. So, a lot has been happening with Kamen Rider this week. We have a ton of Kamen Rider Geats leaks that have been happening with different designs for the upcoming Premium Bandai Final Form buckles for some of the different riders. Speaking of Final Forms, we've had our first look at Geats 9, which is going to be his Final Form with the Boost Mark 3 and Boost Mark 9 raised buckles. But we're not here to talk about any of that because while we are getting a lot of exciting things for Geats, it's slowly becoming its time for it to wrap up here as we are starting to get our very first piece of information for the 5th Reiwa Kamen Rider series. Today, the Trademark bot, which is usually very helpful at least twice a year, once in the fall for Sentai, and once in the spring, almost summer for Rider, has posted our brand new Kamen Rider trademark for the 2023-2024 Rider series, and it is the following. Kamen Rider Gotchard, or Gotchard, it's kind of hard to, we don't exactly know how they're going to pronounce it yet. That's always kind of the thing with these, is that we never really know until we hear them say it. But yeah, this is definitely very, very cool. There's not much we can really grab from it so far. Some people have been speculating that this could be like maybe some sort of gashapon card pun, so like the words gashapon and card, which would be cool. We've seen kind of gimmicks like that in the past, or motifs like that, like Kamen Rider Birth from O's, who was gashapon themed, or of course cards with like Ryuki, Blade, Decade. We haven't had cards as a gimmick since Decade, and that's kind of surprising because Sentai also hasn't dived into cards like much at all, but Ultraman really likes cards with Orb and with Decker and stuff like that. So like, it doesn't seem too crazy for cards to be a gimmick here. We've kind of seen some recent years Bandai kind of replicating gimmicks. Think of like, sort of like how the Sentai gears and Avataro gears were sort of replicated by Ultraman for the new Blazer medals or Gazer medals, whatever those are supposed to be, for the next Ultraman series this summer. So it's possible just from the name that we could maybe be getting a card theme here, although we could get completely nothing of that whatsoever. It's really hard to tell based off of these, because in the past we've had trademarks like Saber, for example, which could definitely tell us that that was going to be a sword themed show, and usually for Sentai trademarks they're a little easier to kind of pick out what the motifs and the themes are going to be, because like the words translate to something specifically, or at least can point you in the right direction. But for Kamen Rider, most of the time it's just kind of a random word, or like 01, which could have been anything at the time before we knew what it was going to be, or Revice, which was an interesting one for Revice, because for Revice we know that that's the name of the show, that there is a Kamen Rider Revice, but we later found out that there was actually two main riders, Revi and Vice, and not just Revice. I don't think that's really going to happen here in the case of Gotchard, but just one of those things to kind of show you how, even with the trademark, you know, there's still so much we cannot know about the show, or still don't know about the show, even though we have the name of it. So the only things that we know about this as a given, basically so far, is that this is going to be the next show after Geats. Geats will be going until probably the end of August. That's been the tradition of the last couple of years. And the next one will start up in September, so that's when we should see Gotchard. We'll probably start getting like rumors and maybe some slight toy listings for it in like late June, early July. And the press conference will probably be sometime at the end of July to like reveal the cast and everything. We know that we're getting the Geats summer movie, which I don't believe has a title yet, but that is the double build movie with the upcoming Kinoja movie that is coming out in July, and that's probably going to be the place that we see Gotchard have his on-screen debut. We had Geats debut last year in the Revice film, so there's just kind of these traditions that we get every year for kind of the Rider news cycle leading into a brand new show that we're just following the motions of yet again for another year, because it's always in May or June that we get the trademark, and then we get the conference, and then we get the cast and the toy listings and the toy pictures and the early cameo, and then the show starts. So we're in that realm of the year now. A perfect timing that we get both Final Form for Geats and next show stuff on the same day, because as we are starting to head into Geats' endgame, we start beginning into the Gotchard early rumor state. So really crazy. I feel like Geats just started. It was such a quick show. I felt a really quick year for Rider, but I thought it was a very, very good one. But this is not a Geats video. There's going to be a lot of stuff I have to talk about with that. There's a whole Premium Bandai video that I'm planning for the rest of this week or later on this week, so stay tuned for that. But, you know, it's interesting. It's just one of those fun things to where, you know, now that we have a title, we can begin the rumor mills, and we can begin the speculation and the leaks and everything. So that's all we really have to talk about with this, though. The 5th Kamen Rider series is Kamen Rider Gotchard. It was officially registered by Toei as a trademark today. The trademark bot, the account that's always been reliable with these things, has posted it. Kind of funny though that the word gacha or gotcha is literally in the tweet, or like literally in the trademark, which is kind of funny because it's almost like this is a joke, like, haha, gotcha, this is a fake name, but it definitely should be the real name. The trademark bot never tweets out just random, not real nonsense. There's other accounts that pretend to be that and tweet out random nonsense to try to trick the fandom, but this is actually like the legitimate trademark bot that gives us the proper trademarks. So it seems like every year we had the same kind of rumors for both Rider and Sentai, with there always being an insect or bug themed Sentai team, which we did finally get with Kinojer. And for Rider, we sometimes get this egg rumor that pops up a lot, so who knows, maybe this will finally be the year of Kamen Rider eggs, which could be kind of like Gashapon balls or something like that, or cards, or who knows. It really could literally be pretty much anything at this point. That's going to do it, so let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the name Gotchard? Or do you think that the kind of idea that people are kind of going with possibly Gashapon or card kind of motifs just based off of the word and what that word could stand for? Do you want them to do something else? What kind of gimmick do you want to see them get this year? Or whether like a gimmick like Raised Buckles that has the rail system where the driver makes all the noises? Or do you want a gimmick like Progrise Keys or Vice Stamps that has all the electronics built inside and you can kind of do those forever? Because I don't know, it's kind of a 50-50 on what kind of gimmick that we get. So, and if we get a card gimmick, I think that would be a really cool one since we haven't had that in so long. So I would definitely be interested in something like that. But as I said, let me know down in the comments below all your thoughts about Kamen Rider Gotchard. What do you think of the Geet stuff that has been leaking this past week? Because even though this is not the video for it, it's still, you know, somewhat topical. Just a lot of Kamen Rider news going on right now. What do you think of Geets? Can you believe that it's already so close to wrapping up here? And just what do you want to see from the next Kamen Rider show? If maybe, you know, Geets wasn't your thing. Maybe you tuned out for a year and you're ready to come back with Gotchard or something like that. But anything you guys want to talk about it down in the comments below. I want to hear about it, and I will continue to cover the latest stuff for Kamen Rider Gotchard here on Togri Topics. So of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR, and I'll see you all later. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, MCPC Studios, Comics 1017, James Darty, John Luke, Eric Berry, Tyler Bezetsky, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidas, CPT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Anthony Love, Daniel Pika, Hella Geo, Thrasher, and Jesus Prime. You can support Togri Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.